welcome back to Reiki 101, an introduction to Reiki. Today we're going to be starting part 2 of this series. We're going to be talking about the attunement process and giving Reiki. So I hope you enjoy part 2. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below, all those good things so you can stay up to date for when part 3 comes out. All right, so let's begin. An introduction to Reiki, part 2. The attunement. Reiki is not taught in the way other healing techniques are taught. The ability to channel Reiki energy is transferred to the student by the Reiki master during an attunement process. During the attunement, the Rei, or spiritual consciousness, makes adjustments in the student's chakras and energy pathways and also in deeper parts of one's consciousness to accommodate the ability to channel Reiki energy. It then links the student to the Reiki source. These changes are unique for each person. The Reiki master does not direct the process and is simply a channel for the attunement energy flowing from spiritual consciousness. The Reiki attunement is a powerful spiritual experience and is the most important part of a Reiki class. The process is guided by Rei, or spiritual consciousness, which fine-tunes the experience for each student depending on what is needed. Some report having mystical experiences involving personal messages, healing, visions, and past life experiences. The attunement can also increase psychic sensitivity. Students often report an opening of the third eye, increased intuitive awareness, or other psychic experiences after receiving a Reiki attunement. However, not everyone has these experiences. The meaningful experiences usually take place when the attunement energy works quickly and creates a rapid change in consciousness. However, for some students, it's more appropriate for the attunement energy to work slowly over a long period of time, which can sometimes extend even beyond the time when the attunement is being physically given by the teacher. Often, when this happens, the experience isn't as dramatic, and all that the student is aware of is a feeling of relaxation, even though the student is receiving all the benefits of the attunement. Because of this, it's important to remember that what one experiences during the attunement isn't the main focus. Rather, it's the purpose of the attunement that is more important, which is the new ability to channel Reiki energy. And this becomes apparent when the student begins to practice using Reiki on others. Remember also that to understand the value of one's Reiki energy, one must not only be aware of what is felt by the practitioner while giving a session, but more importantly, what the client experiences. So be sure to check with the client about his or her experiences after beginning to use your new Reiki energy. Once you have received a Reiki attunement, you will have Reiki for the remainder of your life. You can never lose it. While one attunement per level is all that is necessary to activate the ability to channel Reiki, additional attunements to levels already received have proven beneficial. These benefits include refinement of the Reiki energy one is channeling, increased strength of the energy, healing of personal problems, mental clarity, increased psychic sensitivity, and an expanded level of consciousness. At Reiki support groups offered by many Reiki teachers, additional attunements are often given at no extra charge. So let's recap what we just discussed about attunement process. So the Reiki is transferred to the student by the Reiki master. So the Reiki master is the channel for the attunement. Okay? Rei makes the adjustments in the chakras and energy pathways and consciousness to accommodate the ability to channel Reiki. So the Rei energy will come in and adjust your chakras and energy pathways and your consciousness so that you're tuned to channel the Reiki yourself, just like the Reiki master. Okay? And it will link you, the student, to the Reiki source. Okay, and remember that the Reiki master is the channel for the attunement flowing from the spiritual consciousness. The Reiki doesn't come from the Reiki master. Again, the Reiki master is just the channel, and the energy is flowing through the Reiki master to the student. Okay. The attunement is the most important part of the Reiki class. I mean, you can learn everything you want about Reiki, but you really won't be able to practice Reiki unless you have that attunement, so that you have the adjustments in your chakras and energy pathways and consciousness to channel the Reiki yourself. Okay. So guided by Rei and fine tunes the experience depending on what is needed. So that is what the attunement is. So your attunements are guided by the Rei energy, and it fine tunes your experience depending on what is needed. So some people's adjustments to their chakras, consciousness, and energy pathways may be different. So again, it's all guided by Rei. It knows what it needs to do. Okay. During the attunement process, some people report mystical experiences. It can increase your psychic sensitivity. And again, attunements are not the same for everybody. Some people may have these amazing mystical experiences as soon as their attunement process begins, while the student next to them doesn't really experience anything. They just have this deep, relaxed state. It doesn't matter exactly, what you experience, because it's still doing the same thing. Again, like we said earlier, it may be a rapid change, like that student who's just having this amazing, glorious experience that is sensing things, having visions, having messages, and the other student is sitting there just in a deep, relaxed state, because it may be working slowly over a long period of time. The Rei, the energy knows what it's doing. So, you just have to accept it for that and, live your experience. Okay. So again, you will have, once attuned, you will have Reiki for life. You'll always be attuned to it. You get one attunement per level, and, over time you may want to be, go do additional attunements again, just to kind of, like tuning a piano or tuning your guitar. You want to just retune those things to fine tune them, because sometimes they may become slightly out of whack. Again, you will have it for life, but it can't hurt to be attuned again over time. Some practitioners do, some don't. It just depends on how they feel. The Reiki attunement can start a cleansing process that affects the physical body as well as the mind and emotions. Toxins that have been stored in the body may be released, along with feelings and thought patterns that are no longer useful. You could experience a headache, stomach ache, weakness, or aches and pains. These are the effects of toxins being released from areas where they had been stored in, and is part of the process of releasing them from the body. Changes can also take place in the quality of your emotions and in your consciousness that indicate the release of emotional toxins. These experiences are actually a sign that healing is taking place. This does not always happen for everyone after a Reiki attunement, but when it does, it's important to understand what is happening so you can support its completion. Whenever change takes place, even if it is good, a period of adjustment is necessary so that the body and various parts of your life can get used to the healthy new conditions. You may need more rest, and it can also be helpful to drink more water and to spend more time quietly contemplating your life and any changes you might need to make to support a healthier lifestyle. Many have found that a process of purification prior to and after the attunement improves the benefit one receives. After the attunement, all that is necessary for practitioners to use Reiki is to place their hands on themselves or another with the intention of healing. The Reiki energies will begin flowing automatically. It's not necessary to direct the Reiki energy. It has its own awareness and intelligence, and by connecting with the client's energy field, we'll know how to work and what to do. The best results are achieved by simply remaining calm and relaxed and enjoying the soothing energies that are flowing through you. Note that while Reiki often goes to areas other than where one's hands are placed, it doesn't always do this. This is why it's important to use all the hand positions in a session and to follow the guidance you receive. Because Reiki is guided by spiritual consciousness, it can never do harm. It always knows what a person needs and will adjust itself to create an effect that is appropriate. One never needs to worry about whether to give Reiki or not. It is always helpful and always safe. In addition, because the practitioner does not direct the healing and does not decide what to work on or what to heal, the practitioner is not in danger of taking on the karma of the client. Because the practitioner is not doing the healing, it is also much easier for the ego to stay out of the way and allow the loving presence of spiritual consciousness to clearly shine through. Because it is a channeled healing, the Reiki practitioner's energies are not part of the session and are never depleted. In fact, the Reiki consciousness considers both practitioner and client to be in need of healing, so both receive benefits. Because of this, giving a session always increases one's energy and leaves one surrounded with loving feelings of well-being. The ability to learn Reiki is not dependent on intellectual understanding, nor does one have to be able to meditate. It does not take years of practice. It is simply passed on through the teacher to the student during the attunement process. As soon as this happens, one has Reiki and can use it. Because of this, it is easily learned by anyone. Reiki is a pure form of healing, not dependent on individual talent or efforts by the individual to acquire it. Because of this, the personality of the practitioner is less likely to cloud the significance of the experience. The feeling of being connected directly to God's healing love and protection is clearly apparent. In addition to using Reiki on others, you can also treat yourself. This is one of the wonderful advantages of Reiki. It works just as well on you as it does on others. All right, now let's do a recap of what we just discussed about giving Reiki. So all that an attuned person would have to do is place their hands on themselves or others with the intention of healing, and Reiki will start flowing automatically. There's really no need to direct the Reiki energy. It has its own awareness and intelligence, and it's guided by spiritual consciousness. Remember what we talked about in part 1, that Rei and Ki, Rei means, the God, the spiritual consciousness, and Ki means the energy. So it's the energy of, the higher power leading this healing to the client. It always knows what the person needs, and it's always helpful and safe. It can do no harm. The practitioner is not in any danger of taking on the karma of the client because they're only the channel. And, the healing is not coming from them per se. It's just being channeled through them to the client. Okay. And it's not the practitioner's energy or anything. It's just being channeled through them and given to the client. So with that, both the practitioner and the client benefit because, just as the client's receiving Reiki, so is the practitioner. And anybody can be a Reiki practitioner. Anybody can be attuned and share Reiki. It's not dependent on any intellectual understanding. You don't have to meditate. You don't have to do yoga. You don't have to do all of those other types of energy works. You just need to be attuned, and anybody can be attuned. It's just passed through the teacher to the student. And it's a pure form of healing. And what makes it even better is that you can even treat yourself. And I'll talk about some great self-care there. And that concludes part 2 of Reiki 101, an introduction to Reiki. Join us next time in part 3 when we're going to talk about the aura, the chakras, how Reiki heals, the meridians, what can be treated, how Reiki works with medical care, and a little bit more about Reiki. Thank you for watching and listening today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure to like, subscribe, to stay tuned so you're updated about what's going to happen in part 3 when that comes out. And also please comment below. I'd love to hear your takes about these courses and how Reiki has helped you, or if you have any questions. All right, thanks, and I will see you next week for part 3.